Okay, how do you fix?
Um, last session we did a little bit of a lightning round. We started in Androma. Finished up some small details there, and made a blitz for United Imperial Shogunate. Um, there were a couple of events along the way, including some talks with. There were some talks with Koana. Chishin was the previous week. I know that there was one more. What else did we do last session?
I believe there was a session before that.
Yeah, I'm still in the process of getting my Twitch stuff, the VODs transferred over to YouTube, so I haven't been able to review sessions prior, the last session prior.
Okay, let's see. Last session was Kishin and Koana.
Was Chishin last session, or was that the previous
No,
one?
Kishin was session before.
Okay.
Wasn't that Axel's birthday last session?
That's right, Axel's birthday, and we also ambushed Nox with something.
Yeah, we did. It was the whole like we're going to UIS.
Oh yes, it
yeah.
was the UAS.
Yeah, because that is where we're going. And mysteriously, Elise, Nox, and Kami have all vanished.
Yeah,
Jelly had a good conversation with Kana.
Yep. As I was confirming some of my notes or some of my thoughts on things over the week, I came back across that comment, that information that I hadn't previously pinned. I still haven't. I don't know if you guys want me to.
Which bit, sorry?
I pinged it in planning.
Okay, we'll check out.
You commented on it.
Right, yeah, the topics of conversation.
Yeah, and then I mentioned 36 sessions ago, and then you responded to that. Yeah, so I'm pretty sure you already looked at it.
Yeah, I added it to the topics of conversation.
Ah, okay, good. And
required information before the session is underway.
What's that?
In the intervening time, while stuff was happening, Myokin had switched out whatever knife Percy was bringing with Myokin's knife.
Ah, right.
I feel like Percy would probably notice that it's a different knife, but like not think anything of it. He's not super familiar with the knives in the armory because he's not normally a knife wielder. So he's just like, oh yeah, I guess I picked up a different knife to the one I thought.
Yep, that sounds reasonable. And at the moment you got into the I skipped ahead. You got into the UIS. Were cautious about your approach, but of course, being a cruiser class, they noticed that a cruiser came in, and they did not arrive at one of their fortified regions of space, and so they sent out a broadcast saying, "Hey, who are you?" Responded, had a brief conversation, and you were given permission to approach. Actually, I think you just said you were approaching.
Yeah.
More or less.
We're on approach, and then halfway through, you get another message telling you that you're going to meet Dragon General Shiro Tajimashiro.
So it worked out.
Yeah. And that's where you're at right now. You've gone through safety, your own safety preparations with armor and what weaponry you're bringing along. Some allowed, some technically not allowed but can't be removed, and some just not allowed but is being brought anyways. Like, I'm pretty sure there is an explosive on someone that is not supposed to be on someone.
I don't know what you're talking about.
and you are in front of currently in front of Taja Bashiro and Kitamura Ryoko, as well as two of their other elite guards, and seated at a table. And go into frame here. And we'll also bring you to the Shinobu page. Oh, I don't have a Shinobu page, of course. Why would I think I have a Shinobu page?
Why would you think that? Because going into Shinobu and you have set up a Shinobu page. Or it's
Why
intended
wouldn't
to
you
be.
have a Shinobu page?
Yeah.
Exactly.
I just
We did have
never
a
made one.
We did have a player character from Shinobu briefly.
We did.
Did have a what?
A player character from Shinobu.
Yes. True. I do have a Shinobu playlist though, so that's what I primarily need.
Hmm.
All right, and we have in the box at the bottom the crew that have gone across onto the Shillong.
Yeah, I think this is a good enough balance of combat crew to like diplomatic crew.
Quote unquote diplomatic.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Sure.
And Nox, you're sure you don't want to come with?
Absolutely.
I think we said we may need to hide things that we're not sure about yet, so
Good.
probably not a great idea to have Das there. But I'll be
Okay.
paying attention through comms.
Okay. All right. Well, I believe he has just started discussion straight in with we have things to discuss, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Is there anybody wanting to open with anything, or are you just going to sit and listen?
I'd like to see what they open with personally.
Okay. Anyone else jumping in?
Lulu, thoughts?
It's a good question. I mean, I'll of course greet them politely, but I'm not going to. I don't think. I think if he's starting off, we have much to discuss. I'm going to let him talk.
Okay. What? He starts off with, I expected Elise would not want to show up.
Yeah, she made polite excuses, but ultimately didn't want to be here for the first conversation.
It's weird when I have to turn up viral. Oh, I guess it's not
dear.
weird. I've got you at 175 still.
Oh, that's weird. Hang on one sec.
Oh goodness, she's gonna blast us out now.
Okay, is this any better?
No, I think that's just the 175 is just a standard. Your microphone isn't a boosted thing that
Okay.
we've had forever, so it's fine. As long as I don't have to,
Weird.
as long as I don't have to take you up to 200 and still want you turned up higher, then it's
Okay.
not really a problem. But
Yeah, if that happens, I'll look into stuff on my end.
I'll give you a warning. You're at 186, so you're very close.
Okay.
Um, he let's see. Yeah, he nods and says, "I understand and will respect her choice." Tell me the state of the Raza. Is it prepared for war? Nice peaceful birds chirping in the background. That's great.
Hmm.
I would say prepared for battle, not necessarily for war. Although, with a little bit of time and a little bit of attention, most likely we could be. I would appreciate knowing more about what's going on, though, before we're dragged into A Wars.
You've kind of got a lot going on in the background.
Mm.
Hmm.
You know as well as we do the enmity that we still have that you would risk dragging into a conflict that we were seen in.
That enmity is a shield.
Mm.
You are behaving in the ways expected, and so any deviation from that gives you more room. Autocorrect has done me wrong here. Well, iPhone has done me wrong here. It's so terrible. I'll swipe out a word and be like, all right, yeah, that's the word I wanted. And then I swipe out the next word, and it changes the previous word? Like, why?
Hmm.
Eat it. Um, so he doesn't beat around the bush for too long. With my brain is not processing fast as his will. He follows up his platitude about war and tactics with, I will need the Raza to blow up Henry Station.
Okay, quick reminder, character, which one's Henry Station again?
Henry Station is the big UIS, not UIS, Union Station that is currently, well, it's not currently in a Z. It is in a Z. They don't move.
Yeah.
And it's the one that is currently processing refugees from Rain Ladi.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
doesn't sound like a great look.
If I remember right, that's where we picked up the Acid and Matario and
Where we met
Libra.
them.
Mhm.
Where
Right.
At least the
Right,
assassination was made on
Cool, we
the
met Mr.
lease.
Jack, yeah.
Yep.
Picked up Dima.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
had the fight in the bathroom. Okay, okay.
I don't think that's a good look right now with the whole refugee situation.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I'll just look at the Dragon General and say, like, just looking a bit skeptical, not too skeptical, but a bit skeptical, and go, just slowly, elaborate.
He leans forward a little bit. What is there to elaborate? This it is a Union station. You are enemies of Union. You will be paid well.
If I may, General Sama, I think what he's asking is, why this particular station?
Why why at this time?
We did blow up a station of theirs not long ago.
Yeah, but that wasn't a one with quite as many civilians.
Yeah, Henry Station is home to a lot of civilians.
That's a lot bigger. That's a lot more casualties, especially with the refugees going through there.
Yeah, like it was basically all Union staff on the one that we like. There were some independents hired in, but it was mostly staff.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Henry Station is a strategic fortification for Union. both military and economically. Without it, Union cannot hold the Buckle Belt or exert any control or influence there. And this is a term I haven't used very much. The Buckle Belt is, I'm gonna move you over to the map page. Buckle Belt is that entire, actually you've kind of made a buckle of it with your jumps. That entire little tail that hangs down from
off of March.
Yeah, like starting from
Southeast
Pana
Quadrant.
and technically going all the way down and around and back up to Stet before Raza purportedly killed everyone on Stet.
Yeah. Which we still haven't found out why we got framed for that.
Yeah, we only killed one person on Stat.
And he shot at us first.
Did he? Oh no, yeah, he did get.
He did shoot at you first, yeah.
Once in the surprise round and he missed.
Yeah, he shot at us first. He didn't shoot us first.
Yes.
He
Yes.
possibly shoot us, but he tried.
Mostly because of Percy.
Yeah. Shooting at us with intent is as good as shooting us.
Yes.
Preemptive defense, I say.
You have also spoken with somebody about the incident on Stet.
Yeah, it was Luna, I think. Was it?
No, it wasn't Luna.
Oh.
And it's escaping me right now, but someone who confirmed that they actually did that job. Anyways.
Oh,
Scavengers or something.
yeah, the scavengers, maybe.
No, it wasn't the scavengers, it was after them. It was fairly recently. But my brain is mush from daylight savings. That's my excuse today.
Well, yeah. In any case, yeah, I think they probably expect us to be a little bit irreverent and cheeky, right?
Yeah, he knows you a little bit.
Yeah. Okay, so yes. Yeah, so he's just giving the explanation of why Henry Station, and I'm just gonna Percy will look at him and like look uncertain for a second, and then visibly decide on something and say, "Did you ask us to come here so that we could join the war effort, or solely to join the war effort?"
This is not a war yet. But it will be. And starting the war is the surest way of ensuring you know what the sides are.
All right.
The question stands.
Dex, while this is going on, I'm going to go ahead and activate the mind link for the Iden.
I still really need to get that up on. Oh well, yeah, that works. Thank you.
That's convenient.
This way
Oh,
we can share planning and ideas.
Yeah.
Without
Yeah, I see.
Oh, mind the link. I thought you said mind the blank.
no mind blank.
This is super convenient, actually.
Hey,
Alright.
You hear in your brain Virgilia's voice. Hey, don't freak the fuck out.
Okay, well, you say that.
And Percy just mentally replies, "I think I'm being pretty calm about asking if we're being press ganged into a war."
No, I mean about me speaking into your head.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think that's still what Percy will say.
I mean,
did it therefore.
You just dog was like testing, 1, 2, 3. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Oh dear.
Huh? Neat.
Roger.
Over and out.
So the whole war thing, this literally doesn't matter at all because the universe will reset within 2 years. How much do you want to go into that?
Important question actually. How fast is this communication? Like, is it at the speed of speech or the speed of thought?
It's normal telepathic communication in that regard.
Which doesn't answer.
Oh, that still doesn't. It's basically the speed of speech.
Okay, so it's normal speech speed. Okay,
Yeah, I mean.
yeah, I guess we don't have much time for asides then, but okay. Yeah, Percy's just gonna reply then. Like, if we start a war with Union, then entities are definitely not the main concern. Yeah, last thing Percy said to the Dragon General was just the question stands because he quibbled about the details of whether he's using us to start a war without actually answering.
Did we bring up entities as I mean, I don't know. I'm hesitant to start a war with Union, especially. And I'm just debating how close to our chest we want to play the cards that we have, because like I said, we know about the Union fleet now too. But do we want to share that? Or I don't know. I feel like that we're trying to. Overall, I'm really kind of thinking more of the lines of getting Union on side for the fight against entities.
Oh yeah, obviously.
So obviously, attacking them is not really going to be great for selling that cause.
Yeah. Obviously.
What? Toshiro. Sorry, was it Toshiro?
Tajima. So close.
Tajima Shiro.
Hirosama.
Sorry, Tajime is the given name.
Shiro is the given name, and I don't really know. I'm still split personally on whether I even want to do last name first, because it confuses the heck out of all of my organization and my brain.
It's fine.
I'm too white for
I have been doing a lot of L5R, so I'm kind of used to it. But
Gotcha.
Tajima-sama. I think there are some things about the situation in the wider sector that you may not be aware of that might affect your decision here.
I'm listening.
In front of everyone? Percy's looking at Virgilia for that one.
It's a good point.
Everyone here is. Well, sorry. If you're. Was that telepathic?
Out loud, yeah.
Okay, out loud. If you end up speaking telepathic, please preface it as telepathically so that I don't respond with an NPC.
Yeah.
In response, he does say that everyone here is personally trusted by myself. There are only 4 people here, including him.
Then I will trust your judgment, Tajima-sama. But in 2 years, the universe will end.
That is a high claim. What proof do you have?
Oh.
I'm trying to think. What are some things that? Okay.
I'll have.
Do you know anything about him from previous cycles that he has not told you in this cycle?
That's what I'm thinking of.
Great dragon.
Is there anything I could tell him from previous cycles that would be impossible for me to know otherwise? That would still be relevant to him.
Right. Well, Not. You have the disadvantage of last cycle. He killed his brother and his mother basically on stage. And
Yes, he did the actual show
He
thing.
actually did it. Yeah. Okay.
yes.
Hmm.
um.
Hmm.
So things went a little bit differently for him and for Shinobu. You're looking for something that you would know of from the previous cycle that might be the same or at least relevant now that you couldn't possibly know.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I can't think of anything off the top of my head. Um, I'll give you a skill check for it, but it will be of the highest difficulty of skill check.
Yeah, that's fair.
Um,
How did you? How did you prove it to us? Was it just because we were in Audrima and all the stuff going on, or?
I had I had like actual artifacts from the previous cycle
yeah.
Okay.
in the office.
Hmm.
Actually,
Okay, okay.
could I have brought any of those along? Like ones that could be safely removed?
My default answer on that is no. I don't think Audrima would have wanted you leaving with anything that wasn't a Virgilia personal item.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's fair.
Um, go ahead and roll. I'm gonna go with notice for this, even though it's kind of an odd choice, only because notice is effectively your psychic skill, and this
Okay.
is going to rely more on crew's memory than yours.
Got it.
Ooh.
All
Um,
right, I'll go ahead and roll that then.
but
Also,
let's modify it with int.
Nox, you saying something?
Okay.
I was gonna say pictures or videos of said artifacts.
Hmm. Possible.
Yeah, that,
I probably brought along the ones that were pictures of previous records and stuff. But yeah, let me go ahead and roll the notice check first.
yeah.
Hmm.
It is
With the difficulty, I'm not sure.
one away.
Yeah.
I will. I don't like retroactive age checks, but how would anybody even assist this?
I don't think we could. Is the thing. I don't think we could.
Yeah, that's tricky. I don't know that there's a way to do so. Unless do. Sorry, I'm double checking my skill bar. Does having eclectic memory reduce the difficulty at all?
I think this may be the reduced difficulty.
uh,
Yeah, it was worth asking.
yeah, I'm gonna go with a no for that one. Let's go with a partial success on that. So, choice. Uh, when I roll a reaction check for his reaction to the entire idea, you can shift his reaction favorably one step because of piqued curiosity, or you can have another chance to effectively convince him in this particular vein at a later date at a slightly, well, not slightly lower difficulty, at a 12 difficulty, which you can clearly make, and take that chance there. So either shift his attitude towards the information that basically towards the entity side of this meeting presentation by one step, or try to just convince him with another skill check later on at a 12 difficulty.
I feel like in the long run, we're probably better off doing the convincing later on.
Yeah, I think you're probably right, especially if I can. Wait, hold on.
Go on.
Wait, no, never mind. That doesn't matter.
No,
Okay, yeah, I think convincing him later on might be the better option.
Okay. So then the result of this is that there are things Virgilia knows that Virgilia and crew know that seem tangential at best. And obviously he's not going to sit there and listen through a litany of, well, what about this and what about this.
Yeah, I think she basically goes, well, most of the information I have on you from the last cycle isn't really relevant to you now, and I don't know that you'd like hearing it.
God, that just sounds like a challenge.
Let me actually offer a suggestion. Feel free to shoot
Yeah.
it down if it's not in character.
Go ahead.
Say that she actually does relate what happened in the last cycle. Hinging, or not hinging, kind of banking on him being like, yeah, that sounds like something I would do.
Yeah, that's actually reasonable.
That works.
Yeah, I think she'll go with that.
Okay. He listens, and judging by his stance and what she knows of him, she keeps it fairly short and succinct. And he does have that response. That does sound like how I would handle the situation, or the starting conditions played out differently.
I know it's not proof. I'm afraid that you weren't as involved with the Rasa the previous cycle, so there's not as much as I can tell you.
With that being said, do you trust our intelligence and naturally suspicious judgment? Because they were able to convince us. And Percy sort of shrugs a little bit.
I will need more proof.
That's fair.
Extraordinary claims, extraordinary proof.
Yeah.
Yada yada.
And
Yes.
Percy thinks across at Lulu. Can we get in touch? Can we get in touch with Audrey and do that? Is that a thing we can do?
If you can find Portia Lynn.
Well, that's still the next stop.
So, are they? Presumably, they're not even aware of entities, though, right?
Yeah, that's the next thing that I think we need to explain to them, because we've just said, "Oh, universe
Yeah,
can end." We
it's-
have not explained anything
Yeah, I
about
have
how
explained the
yet.
mechanics behind that,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and I imagine we're probably a little fuzzy on the mechanics behind it ourselves.
I think Virgilia
But-
can. Well,
Oh yeah,
we don't
Virgilia's
know.
probably not that fuzzy on it.
She
I don't really know if we can
doesn't.
do it at this point.
I don't think I know exactly how the reset occurs, though I have some inkling, but I can go into the entities pretty well.
Yeah, no. Crew has been hosted in humans for so long that he does not recall much of the specifics. He knows about what you guys know as far as condensers are a portal, and they self-power if given access to an energy source. If the portal it overlaps an energy source that they can tap into, they self-power from that, which can be a planet core, or at worst, the planet's star, which basically dooms that system. And yeah,
And it does not convert raw matter into energy. It needs like an actual active energy source.
it needs an actual energy source. Yes.
Okay.
And crew, of course, does have a little bit of information on the smoke entities, kind of a universal enemy slash threat. As much as seagulls are a universal enemy or threat on the beach. Nobody forgets seagulls.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we We can probably safely give him or share the information on the angelic choir with him without any concern about the discussion about the Union fleet. The metadata on that might be actually interesting to observe on the technical side, because that would actually indicate that it was made, that the record was made 8,000 years ago.
Alternatively, if he wants exceptional proof, does anyone else remember that time we were on the Furtino and like bodies started getting up and walking around without vac suits in the void of space and fighting us? Anyone else remember
I mean, we got a couple of them on our ship.
that? Also true, but we're not at the meeting. But yeah, like just as a starter, how do we feel about just doing something along the lines of something weird is definitely going on. Watch this. Like as a sort of introduction, I guess, to entities, or like as part of the entity explanation.
I think that's reasonable.
Okay.
If you're comfortable showing him those, then yeah.
More than I'm telling him about the angelic choir.
Okay.
But yeah, I feel like we So how do we broach this whole explanation? I guess. Okay, so Dex, this is not going to be exactly the words that Percy puts it in, but this is like the sort of points that I want to hit. Need to actually build the other space detector. We do, yes.
Yeah.
So the points I want to hit are basically we have on our wandering around the cosmos run into glowing balls of consciousness and light, basically. They call themselves entities, which have a general disdain for human existence, have shown an ability to pup most humans around the place, and keep talking about the oncoming of the black ships, which corroborates with some logs we found, which we can show you later, which allegedly heralds the end of this cosmos. We spoke with the people of Odrima, and just as over at Lulu at that point, and they corroborated that. And I know this sounds insane, but and then I will show him a data pad, I guess, or send him footage, whatever, of the bit on the Furtino, and also, you remember that one ship that we were on, and there was that one entity that was basically terrorizing the crowd?
Mhm.
Do we have like cam footage from people who were close enough to hear what he was saying?
Mhm.
Because he was definitely not talking like a regular human. Like, there could be other explanations, but this explanation fits the story that we're trying to tell, which is true. Yeah, anything else to add to that, or anything that needs to be removed from that? Everyone else?
No, I think that's fine. I just wanted to ask Dex a question quick.
Go ahead.
Dex, if you'll recall the specifics of the situation on God, I can't remember the name of the planet now. The one with the angelic choir.
Coast.
Yeah.
Kos. If you remember the situation on Kos exactly, Jai actually went into the infraverse or infraworld there.
Spicy.
He went through the portal.
Mhm.
Do we have the data from when he did that included in the angelic choir package?
I can enter that. Hang on a sec. I just have to. I have a whole section on what technology sees within a portal. Technology being the cameras on which you might record that.
Right. That it basically sees. Well, it sees nothing when it's looking at it from the outside. I can't remember what it saw on the inside. I assume it was still nothing, but
That sounds familiar, but I want to, of course, make sure that I'm giving you the right. Yeah. Okay. So constructed eyes, including cameras, videos, and sensors, physically entering the infraworld. Oh, that's a different word than I thought it was. A placid gray scene. There were a lot of details that the organic eyes saw, which the cameras did not. Um, they basically saw a kind of I don't want to say surreal because it was the room in which the portal was in, but everything was gray. Um, and not just like grayscale, but gray. If you can think of how there's a difference between things being gray and things being grayscale, then
Mhm.
that's what it was. Um,
Yeah, it's like all shades of grey versus flat grey.
yeah, I
Okay.
think so. I think if I were to use a better analogy, it would be like the difference between seeing the moon landing. Basically, people believe it was faked because of the shadows. It's that
Mhm.
kind of small little difference in on the camera inside the infraworld that makes it look like not real. Um, but yes, that's what the camera saw when Jai went in. Everybody outside did not see that because there was no connection between his camera and their receivers. But you were able to recover that footage once Jai exited.
Okay.
Um, of note, uh, I don't know if Virgilia or Crew would know this, but especially since Crew wasn't there at that time. Um, Jai could see the smoke entities roaming around, and the camera could not.
Mhm. Okay.
I don't know if
So
that
yeah,
helps you.
not it's it's not terribly useful in the moment because I can't imagine him being convinced by this.
Uh, yeah, and that's kind of. I'm gonna skip ahead a little bit. We'll backtrack to any point you want to make, but that's kind of a running theme. Is that what you say is well, it's incredible. Um,
Mhm.
you bring up the fair tenora and the warnings, but
Mhm.
those warnings were 1,000 years ago. If the black ships were coming, why haven't they already come? Um, and then of course, video screen.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, like black ships haven't come yet because they're still on the way. That one entity on the ship was talking about them still being on the way. Even mentioned the impatient as a thing that like, hey, if you want to help them, come sooner.
Yeah.
So clearly, it's still a work in progress.
Do
And
you
it's no
want
best
him?
interest. And
Do
it's
you
no
want
best
him to
interest.
bring? Sorry.
Go on. And it's no best
No,
interest if you don't finish the work.
I was gonna say, do you want him to actually speak with the ones you have on your ship?
Not right now in the context of this meeting, but yeah, possibly.
Hmm.
I'm not against it as a thing.
Right. Okay.
I do want to
But like, they don't
record
obviously.
for record keeping what information you are giving him though. So you've
Okay.
shown him Jai in the infraworld.
Have we? Okay. Must have spaced out and missed that actually happening. I thought we were just talking about it.
Yeah, I
Let's
was
take a
more
look.
I was more
Oh,
asking about it.
oh, I'm sorry. Okay, so you have not done that.
Yeah.
All right.
Not much to show there. Basically, we've shown him the fight on the Fur Terminal. We've shown him the fight on that one board, or one boat. Um, we've basically told him entities exist, roughly what they are, that they are hostile to us, and that they have foretold the end of this universe, which matches up with what we heard from the people of Odrima. Uh, yeah,
And
we have.
I'll ask if I'll ask if you're sure that you don't want him to give him the angelic choir data. vis-a-vis the logs and records that were included in that package.
Logs and records? Wait, I thought you meant locations, and that was meant to convince him somehow. That explains it. Sorry, what exactly was it from the Angelic Choir you wanted to send him then?
Would the other data from Coast be included in that, like any logs or records left by the scientific crews there? That's at Dex.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was trying to find the information that you're referring to. Can you repeat your question?
Would any of the logs or records from the facilities that were manning the condensers down there be in that package?
Okay,
You guys did a really thorough data dump from the facility where the condenser had been running. You had basically the hundreds of years of data on that portal.
okay, I'm down to send him, like, enough of that we couldn't easily simulate it and have it be self-consistent, etc.
Okay.
Like, enough to prove that we're not just making it up, and also we have more.
Yeah. All right. We'll
Yeah,
we'll
flip that.
share a sample of that data then.
Yeah. But yeah, so Angelic Choir logs, small amount. For Terminal fight, that one fight on the ship. Entities exist. They are mean. They don't care about us. They have foretold the end of the universe. We have seen them possess people. There are more. There are so many more.
Well, many of them don't
Yeah.
care about us anyway.
Yeah, I was
But-
going to say, do we want to make the point that not all of them are hostile? Because you are kind of in a room with one at the moment.
yeah.
There's
You know?
certainly factions.
I feel like the majority are non-hostile, but like if we want him to take the threat seriously, then it's worth mentioning hostile. He clearly cares a lot about like political position and strength, because look how he opened the conversation with, "Hey, let's start a war with Union." Like, he cares a lot about that, so portraying this as a threat is the best way to make him pay attention to it, I think.
It's certainly worth going into. There's certainly a faction of other extra universal entities who are attempting to
And
spread their universe to ours and override it.
yeah, that's basically that's the point that I want to focus on to get his attention.
Well,
And here are these logs about the self-sustaining process that entails, or part of it.
well, Shiro is a focused and disciplined man, and he says that all of this is very interesting, but is not in the immediate term, and is also a lot of information. He asks for he asks if you will transfer all the information you have pertaining to this threat against the universe to well, it won't fit on a data slab, so to a storage device,
Sure.
so that their scientists and brains can review it.
Sure.
Okay.
This is I think Percy thinks that the others, is this where we tell them that we were kind of going to take this to Union and see what they think, see if they can spread the word.
It might be best to explain that idea, at the very least.
Yeah, in that case, we'll go with I understand that it's a lot, and you need some time to consider it. Absolutely. It took us a while to come to terms with it as well. But this is a real threat. We've seen evidence of it being a very real and possibly the most major threat, as you say. even if it's not in the short term. And nobody is doing anything about it, is the thing. Union are doing some research into the technology behind it, but seemingly for like human use, not to destabilize the fabric of the universe or anything. um, but nobody is. It feels like nobody is taking it seriously. Perhaps because they don't know about it, and this is part of why we were bristling at being brought here to go to war with Union, because they clearly know that this exists, that this is a thing that needs to be addressed, and we were going to try and set them to working against it. We
Well,
didn't know what to expect from UIS because we hadn't been back here to answer your summons previously.
I think we wish, even lacking detailed examinations as we do, given the nature of the detailed, providable, excellent information to accurately convey the nature of the threat. I think we were hoping to still explain it to you and see if you would be willing to take steps to handle it, given the urgency of the matter. Since, again, based on what I know, this is all coming to a close within 2 years. Or is it 3 years? I'm not saying that in character. I can't
Right.
remember.
Yeah, too soon. Too soon. Let's see what he says.
So obviously he's not just quiet during the whole thing. There's a little bit of back and forth. But one of the points that he makes at the end is that, excuse me, Union maneuvered to assassinate my father. Elise helped with that. And I know that she was not the person then that she is now. I accept and respect that. Union is still the same now as they were then. There will be no alliance between UIS and Union.
We're not asking for an alliance between UIS and Union. We're just asking that UIS and Union work separately against the same common threat.
You ask too much.
Speaking of asks,
I did suspect you might see it that way. But still, we will give you the information for your people to look over as a sign of good faith and in hopes that it convinces you to take steps.
For what it is worth, I don't think working against Union and working against the entities is incompatible, so long as it doesn't cut off the Raza's potential for action. Tajima-sama.
He seems to accept that.
yeah. While we're on the subject of asks, how would you feel about some? I just mhm.
Just one last thing on that, real quick, before you change the topic. Yeah, Percy was aware on that last point. We're not asking you to stop fighting Union or even scale it down. Just don't destroy our ability to do the same and get everyone on the working against the same threat, even if independently, or something like that.
It may also be worth noting, Tajima-sama, that if Union can be persuaded of the threat sufficiently, then them expending their resources to deal with it puts you in a very good position to exploit that when the threat is dealt with.
Perhaps militarily, but we will have to see how the politics play out at that point.
Well, we've never gotten past it before, so it's a mystery.
This is a significant improvement on no, on you ask too much. We appreciate the open-mindedness.
Yeah, I figured this might be a better direction to go with it.
All right.
And Percy just thinks that Lulu, no, Percy thinks that Virgilia. Good point. I forgot to mention that they can still go to war with Union if they like. I think he thought they. I think he thought we were asking them to be friendlier than we actually were.
Right.
Good catch. Maybe we kept going for something. No, he doesn't actually say that.
All right. So we're gonna get the point that Doug was raising. We're also going to figure out how, if you give him any more, and then how that affects the role that Virgilia is going to make at the end.
Okay.
There actually is something there because we do have information on that Union shipyard, which we were discussing. We haven't mentioned it to him yet, but
We have not.
if he's aware of the potential of it, again, I personally really want to get at the ruins and to examine them in detail. He has more. So while Cassian LaRue might have more resources,
He's not a nation state. Yes.
right? He is. Tajima Shiro is much more willing to do things that are dramatic and aggressive in action.
Yeah.
If he's informed, if he is informed of the shipyard, he may be able to take steps to get us into the system. And again, on my end, I really want to get at the ruins.
Yeah. I think the best way to handle that is we don't mention it right now, and then if at some point we use that to bargain for okay, we have something about you that you will really want to know in exchange for whatever. Or if it's just for the sake of that, he might go, okay, could you lead the attack? And we go, can you fix our ship? Like, we could potentially finagle something on his end and a ship fix out of it if we play our cards right, I feel like. And then if we don't have an opportunity to bring it up, they just, at the end, oh, and, as one last going away present, here.
By later, what do you mean exactly? Like,
As we leave.
Okay, so as we're leaving, are you sure?
Go on.
Do you want to leave breadcrumbs for him to at least think we might have more information on Union?
Yeah, leave breadcrumbs, see what he offers, and then
Okay.
like when we actually say we know this, there's a decent chance that he goes, will you be part of the attack fleet? And we go, will you fix our ship? Will you fix our weapons?
Couple notes I want to make. This conversation does not all have to be within the couple of hours that you're in a conference room with him.
Yeah.
You guys
Yeah,
certainly.
We don't have those awkward moments of silence as we're all communicating telepathically.
Yeah.
I assume a
Like
lot of the telepathic communication is occurring while one of the NPCs or someone else is speaking.
Yeah.
But
We play it cool, y'all.
yeah. Ultimately, what I'm settling on is we are not telling him about the Tiamat shipyard yet. We can get more.
Yeah,
We can get more value out of it than just going, oh, by the way, I think you'll find this interesting. We can play our cards better than that.
What?
Versus the
What would he do?
versus the entity information, I think is, that's just pro bono.
Yeah.
We could have an ask, y'all.
Yeah.
Sure, they won't, not go after Union, but
Yeah. How friendly he winds up being towards us determines what we will need to bargain for with that information.
Right.
Like whether it's okay, but don't arrest us here just because we're trying to be Union, just because we're trying to buddy up to Union 2, to if you want us to be on the strike force, well.
Right.
So let me actually let's do the Doug thing real quick.
Sorry.
And then keep in the back of your thoughts as Americans playing this out. Do you want to spend a couple days here at Shinobu, or do you want to try and constrain your negotiations to effectively to this table?
I'm okay with spending a couple of days here.
Yeah, we were talking about people needing shore leave anyway.
True.
He did the exact opposite of what I suggested, and told me before we did the Doug thing.
I mean,
But to be fair, I kind of expected that.
I'm kind of thinking, my question might be the deciding factor on that.
No.
Yeah.
Fair enough. I just didn't want it to get lost, and I can see this whole
you know what?
negotiation going over days.
Right. I think we'll probably need to bring the situation with the crew member who are the crew members who are
Probably
I
wouldn't
guess.
appreciate shore leave here.
Yeah. We need to bring that situation up eventually. It might be best to do that while only Tajima Shiro's around, because he would be willing to execute them, but he might be persuadable.
Well, I think the
Yeah,
people here are all, they're basically people that he trusts already, right?
Yeah.
Sure, but
made
that
very
doesn't
clear.
that doesn't mean that they're necessarily going to agree with him. Him trusting them means he's going to trust their opinion, even if it differs from his.
Mhm.
And it's easier to convince one person than it is to convince four.
All right.
Yeah. Also, I would like to see if we can talk with Kami or Myokin before we
Already
before we broach out with him.
Meowkin's on the fucking.
No, Myokin.
That's
But
what I mean.
we already talked to Kana about it.
Huh. Okay. Fair.
I said I'd ask.
Just remembered that.
I keep my
Okay.
promises.
Yeah. How does Doug approach this?
Well, yeah. No, speaking of ask, I mean, I get the hey, don't attack Union thing might be a bit too much of one, but maybe could I ask you for something a little smaller than that?
Oh dear.
What is it?
Well, I mean, I don't really know how the laws here work, but do y'all got something like pardons?
Oh god.
Uh,
Percy just thinks right now, Doug.
in the course of exemplary service, some crimes can be forgiven.
No, that's just about it. Though they got exemplary service.
There can be no weakness in Shinobu law.
All right, so blanket pardons aren't a thing.
Undeserved pardon is not a thing.
Wow, you're okay. Okay, I'll drop it there. I could be circumspect.
You call that circumspect?
He's trying his best.
Oh god. We're all doomed.
He,
Why do we bring you to the negotiations again? I'm joking.
he is going to add a small little final detail here. And he says that Elise should probably not come to set foot on Shinobu.
Yeah, I am leaving it up to that. I'm probably just asking for Elise.
Yeah.
Clear.
Yeah. Yeah, she figured that one out herself.
He maps out that if the Raza were to be performing as a contract or mercenary service to UIS, and Elise is to
Part of that,
them basically acting under in the interest of UIS, then that could be twisted around to be in service and exemplary.
Yeah.
Okay,
So basically,
so-
if we went through Henry Station, that could be a payment option.
Okay, so basically, I feel like
Right.
Elise cannot go into UIS, cannot be seen in UIS because we're not going to like permanently pledge allegiance to the UIS banner, probably.
Mhm.
Well, she wouldn't want to set foot on UIS before doing something that would earn her this forgiveness to begin with. So yeah, unless you
Yeah,
guys
which
went out and blew up Henry Station right now and then came back, no, she's not. She's not going down right now.
And that's
yeah,
gonna be
we're not,
probably the same thing
we're,
for Kana and Kami.
we're not
Yeah.
we're not doing
Should
that
probably-
straight away.
I should probably be
I'm not-
curious about what Kami's deal was, huh?
Yeah, we should.
I'm not saying that out. I'm not saying that out loud. Please. Boy, how it's a good thing we had this mental link thing, though.
Yeah.
All right, so it sounds like you guys are going to spend a couple of days, which is good because it strains the credibility a little bit to present that much information and for anybody to look over it and say, I think all of this is good.
Yeah.
So what I've got here is that you're showing him the fight on the Fertinero, the fight on the Foreign Spirit, and giving him
Foreign
some of the Angelic Choir information.
Yeah, basically like a few years worth, enough to like
Okay, so
enough
some data.
detailed stuff. Yeah, enough detailed data that it looks like we didn't just make it up, you know. And like basically a note on the end going, we have more, but of course, like we don't want to fucking eat up all your time looking at this alone.
Is it just the data from the running condensers that the Raza pulled, or are you giving the other stuff that came with the Angelic Choir, like position, location of the facilities, the wreck of the Good
Yeah.
Rune?
He is sure as shit not getting the locations of the facilities. Other than that, don't know. Lulu?
Sorry, could you repeat the question?
What else are you giving him from the coast data? Of particular note are the locations of facilities, which Viral has already said nope.
Yeah, that's not a great idea to give him. I don't think.
Okay.
I mean, maybe.
Then yeah, I think we're giving him the reading data.
Okay.
As well as what logs the others are comfortable with sharing.
I'm kind of curious. Does that data include, like, the scientific principles to the universe, or?
Not really. It's it's data that. So as I've made a point, our tech can't detect infraspace or infraworld. Because we've got me saying it now. So that data was logging what we can or what they could. Power given to the machine. The physics around that it could detect, and then the absence of it. And I think, if I remember right, I think I even portrayed, that the anomaly here is the absence of data, not so much the data itself. Yeah,
I vaguely recall that.
yeah, pretty sure I made a point of that. And the most important, I think the biggest takeaway you guys got from that was that this data logged the expansion of the portal over years. That's right. It gave you a formula that you could use to kind of calculate the expansion of the portal, and to also identify that the expansion grew as it the expansion rate increased as it got bigger. You were able to kind of calculate just I think that's actually how you came to your calculations about Blue Dawn.
That makes sense, yeah.
Yeah. So I will say that a snippet of the data is going to be, it's certainly going to be interesting. I'm not saying it's worthless to him. But it doesn't contain the whole picture, and it doesn't even contain the whole context.
Okay.
Then we'll add what we can of the context so that it's not just, oh yeah, here's some stuff.
Yeah.
Like we
So
want
it's
him to
not
have writing
exactly
for
proof
everyone,
of the
if we
universe
can. Yeah.
situation.
Do we want to also give him data on the infraverse detector?
I
I
don't know.
I don't know that there's much reason to.
At this
I
point,
mean,
yeah,
not give
because
it to him.
oh yeah,
Mm.
We haven't
fair.
even built it ourselves yet. Though.
Like before we have convinced him that this is a thing that he needs to take seriously, he's not going to care. Whereas if he decides, okay, yes, I give a shit about this, we go, cool, we have some schematics for a thing that we think will help you. You know, like in the interests of helping out here.
Right, but I mean the if we have the detailed means of producing it and we have Zoe's notes on it,
Yeah.
then that itself might be persuasive.
I feel like it might be better to have a working one to give, because it's not like Tajima's going to build it himself, right?
I mean, maybe.
If we're being especially paranoid, because we don't currently have the means of detecting them, right? Or at least not reliably.
Yeah.
So
Okay, I wonder how fast we could build one of those. Probably not very fast.
I want to say a week, 3.5 days, maybe. I'd have to double check the numbers.
Yeah, I believe it's
Okay,
a week for you guys.
Okay.
There were some. I've got a handout for this. Crafting and repair. Alright, building 1 week, having an assistant with fix 0 will help this time. So yes, if that's something that Doug was focusing on, Doug could be. I actually think he could have built it already in the jumps.
Well, I guess yeah, because I was actually working on Percy's stuff
Okay.
at the time.
I mean-
but I could
mean-
probably, if you're okay with a slight retconning, I can stop work on the polymorphic blending.
Oh, wait, what?
I think he's currently wearing the polymorphic blending.
What? Am I?
No,
I don't.
I thought so.
He didn't. Yeah. No,
Okay.
Elise has the polymorphic blending on. Percy,
Ah. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
sounds right.
and I think Das does as well.
Yeah, I have bubble
But I
seal.
hadn't gotten to
don't have-
Percy's yet.
I have
Or rather,
customized
I just
bubble
recently
seal,
started
not
Percy's.
polymorphic.
Hold on. That's way off. I think I had 2 days into the polymorphic into that.
Okay.
That was when we jumped into UIS, I think.
Regardless, we didn't talk about it, but if Doug had said, hey, I'm going to start working on it, we're heading towards UIS, I'm going to start working on this entity detector instead of your armor, is that okay? Percy would have went, absolutely, but we didn't talk about
Yeah.
it.
I'm fine with retconning that in. And to your
Yeah, because honestly, I just forgot that we didn't. For some reason, I just thought we got a detector. I don't know why.
Yeah. To your note down there, Nox. Remember that you the Roz's black box was removed, and so the only time you can prove you haven't been to Kos is since you woke up. Well, since you got a black box in Endoys at Mona.
Okay, 3
Which,
days.
in fairness, he was there for that. Like, he knows we didn't go there between waking up and getting the black box.
True, but we've for as long as he's been on the ship, we haven't had the Raza black box. We've only had our own black box.
Yeah,
Right.
fair.
So that's what I'd be trying to prove.
Okay, gotcha.
Well, yeah. Remember briefly what the significance of Kos was?
That's the condenser planet, Angelic
Right,
Fire. I think.
right, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I know, because, like, even if we do have the information, he doesn't know that, like, he doesn't necessarily know that it's true, you know? Like, we're trying to convince him of that still.
I mean, we're about to go there, aren't we?
Maybe?
It is a League of Autonomous Worlds planet, so yeah, I mean you're right next to it.
Huh. Maybe then, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think that was at least partially the plan. We were coming down here and we were going to go. I think we were even 50-50 whether we go there or here first. So
Okay.
Giving him more data about Kos is it's supposed to be within UIS as well. sorry, UIS is a member of law, an equal and equal member of law, not the controlling interests.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Uh,
So how much does the other space detector cost?
a lot.
Oh, he's at 400. Oh, I see there. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want me to throw it up, back up on the screen?
No, you're fine.
Okay.
I wouldn't mind.
I'm taking him off the ship supplies.
There you go.
I'm going to say no one's objecting to that. And if they are, then oh well. Too late. It's done.
Oh, actually, the 400 is before. Did I change that?
This
Right. Normal is still double the listed spare price. Sorry, double the listed price. And when I create these cards, it is the listed price. So it should actually be twice that, unless you want to jury rig it. Oof. 800 spare parts seems like so much.
Kinda, yeah.
Well, we had 8,000 on the ship, so
Okay.
it's not the end of
Oh.
the world.
Okay, that's fine then. Probably.
I just have to remember that spare part is effectively a unit of 50 credits, so that's why 400 or 800 really isn't that much.
So we did settle on a week, then have it to set 3.5
Yeah, that's fun.
days. Okay, so that means probably basically by about the time we get to the Shenlong, it would be completed.
Yeah, I think so. That's
Yeah.
fine if you want to use that.
And even if we don't, we're gonna leave them like studying the stuff that we gave them for a couple of days, right?
Yeah. But I figure, yeah, before we give them the blueprint for it, it'd be best to do a sweep, make sure that there's no entities in charge here. Though we know, at the very least, we know Tajba's safe.
Hmm.
Yeah, because crew would be able to detect that.
Yeah.
Actually, oh, Kana's not here.
Eh.
Nor is Elise.
No, they are not. No.
I was gonna say Taj Mashiro was vacant, so
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true. Duh.
Yeah. So he's already safe.
Yep. All right.
Alright, 800 subtracted.
Yeah.
And now
So
we have a detector.
you have a detector, and it's not jury rig. It's just it works and functions normally.
Thought about jury rigging it, but it's like I don't necessarily need to.
Yeah. It is a lot cheaper. It's only 100 spare parts at that point. Because although it says a quarter, so it looks like, it would be a quarter of 800. No, it's a quarter of the listed price. Which is effectively, for building it, an eighth of the cost.
I mean, I do have creative 1, but I need creative 2 for jury rig devices to last longer.
Okay.
I did think about it. But
All
hey,
right.
if we were in actually a real hurry, I really could have put one together real quick.
Yeah.
Would be nice, yeah.
All right.
But that's not the rush unless you need to.
So you're at Shinobu. Most of you are able to be cleared for surface to come down to the surface.
Mhm.
You're gonna be here for a few days. Do you want to try and do any trading?
Hmm.
I don't think we have anything to sell right now, right? Yeah, native artwork.
I think
and
they might have
sold.
some stuff, but
Oh, we
also
have
we're
we have
not like.
Dave wreckage and old Union cred sticks. It's not really trade goods, but
No.
I feel like maybe we're we're still courting this place, like actively courting the leaders. We should maybe not create waves while we're waiting.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't think buying trade goods is making waves, but
True,
also,
but
we don't have a
selling
heavy we don't have a heavy
selling
focus on
weird
trade.
selling weird union stuff is kind of problematic.
You
Well,
can try and
I was saying we could buy trade goods to take
Yeah.
somewhere else too, though,
Okay, do we want to?
if we wanted to. We're not too big on trade though, I don't think.
tell you what, I'll roll on the chart to see what they've got that is even
Maybe there's
Purchasable?
a really good deal.
so 3 and 7.
Okay.
7 is small arms energy, which is military and post tech,
Makes sense.
which would come out to a -3 because military is a -2 here and post tech is a -1.
So it makes it easier, right?
That makes it cheaper for you.
Okay,
And
okay.
3 is Zen MD, which is medical, cultural, and compact, and there are no modifiers for that. So let's see. Let me. Why word why? Okay. So, um.
I'm trying to buy some weapons. I feel like there's generally the galaxy is violent enough to need weapons. I can get a good bit on them here.
Yeah, probably true.
I mean, I think we'll have to delve into personal funds though,
Hmm.
but not that's a huge deal.
Okay, and yeah, that's fine. Should be copy pasting a lot more than I am. Hang on. Military, post tech, and 10k. The friction here is 2, and the non-trade skill is perform. Let's see, it was right. It's the 3 things. There's trade, the better of your charisma or intelligence, and whatever the planetary specific trade skill is, which for this is perform.
Okay, so trade and perform. Yeah, if we're not like in negotiations, that's the say to come down to the surface to help with the trading, right? If that's a thing that she's willing to do.
Mhm.
Is that a
Das
thing
is
you're
always
willing-
happy to help with trade.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, whoops! I completely read the wrong line, but that's fine. I've already posted it. I'm gonna leave it like that. The line I should have read was meta wheat, which is just never something you want to trade. It is common, agriculture, and bulky, which means each unit is 10 tons, and each unit is only 500 credits.
Yeah, so not very valuable for how big it is.
No, it's not a good use of space at all.
What isn't the
Meta wheat, which is
Oh.
what the 7 actually should have been, but like I said, I've already posted. I'm not going to change it. Compact, by the way, means that it is 10 units to a ton.
Okay.
Okay, I'd like to trade some of that.
Well, do you want to see what the price is for either or both of those?
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah.
Okay. Ginja, since Das is doing the trade, is bringing the trade skill, I should say, and
Hmm.
because you've already know the notation for the roll,
Yep.
it is that clamped roll that we worked out earlier.
Yep.
Charisma or intelligence, I believe you've got a +2 from Elise for. No, not Elise.
So
All
if
right,
it's
who?
better of charisma or intelligent, Das has a +2 in. So
Okay, all right. And then who's got perform?
Das has a
Much of-
+0, but I'm pretty sure someone's got better than that.
Is Doug helping out here?
I was gonna say staring at Doug.
Can I? What do I got to help for trade?
Perform in
point.
this
Oh.
context
Oh.
is
Sorry, I missed
engaging in a set of rituals and ceremonies.
You gotta rock out.
Well, you know, rock is just about rituals and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much, yeah.
I gotta have my green M&Ms.
The most expensive or the highest value trades actually end up requiring a tea ceremony between the administrator that is negotiating the deal and the trader.
Man, if only we had someone that was good at that kind of thing. Oh wait. Oh wait.
Well, what am I? Is it perform? I heard an intelligence. Perform intelligence.
Again, just gonna type out the formula. Just need to know what your perform skill is.
I'll just perform. Okay.
Yeah. The friction here is 2, and your roll for Zen MD is a 0 from the modifiers. So.
Okay, and remind me, is it backwards for this one? I'm like minus all of our bonuses plus the friction
Correct.
because we're buying.
Mhm.
Yeah. So minus all of those. Friction was
2.
2. Okay. So -2, -3, -2, plus the 2 friction.
Mhm.
Is that everything?
It is, and this is for the Zen MD.
Nope, it didn't like it. Hang on. Oh, I lost a. Ah, I'm still on the version without the numbers. Yeah. So that version.
That that took a 6 out for you, but it also took a 2 out.
Mm.
Yeah, it might be a little. The Zen MD might be a little expensive.
I believe that's a -10%, but that's still
Still quite expensive. Yeah.
Yeah.
considering your bonuses. The small arms energy is going to end up being the same formula with further -3 because of the military and post-tech tax.
Mm-hmm.
So roll again.
Oh dear.
Wow,
Yeah, that's
Ooh, no, that's best. That's good.
that is.
Oh, okay. Oh shit. So yeah. Yeah.
Low
oh,
is good because we're buying. We want low
Mhm.
prices.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. I'm forgetting. Yeah. Okay. Okay.
So
okay.
that's absolutely amazing prices. That's probably like we'll pay 10% or something.
I mean,
It's
it's
exact-
those are free and pay us to carry it off.
It is exactly
have too many
10%, in
weapons.
fact.
what would a negative number for this be? Because you can get negative numbers on these.
The chart just says 2 or less, so it's just gonna be less.
Alas.
But that price modifier is
Yeah.
-90%, which yes means that you could buy units of small arms energy for 1,000 per ton. Turns out this is actually very appropriate for what's going on in Shinobi right now. As you guys get
Yeah.
on the ground and you see the state of things, you know, it's the place that you're allowed to go as tourists is, of course, very nice. It's shielded a bit from the outer Shinobu, or from the real Shinobu, but there still trickles in about what sounds like martial law in other places. There's the planet's been gearing up for war for a couple of years. There just happens to be a surplus of weapons.
I mean, raise your hand if you're surprised, everyone.
And no hands were raised.
I was gonna say I didn't think I would see any hands raised. Partly because nobody has cam on, but still. Oh dear, but yeah, fucking, we're never gonna get a better deal than this. Even if we sell them for like slightly below average, we're still turning a huge
Yeah.
profit. Let's fill up.
Yeah, let's
I-
go ahead.
I
and
don't think
give-
it's possible to sell them for a loss if we buy them at this price.
Yeah.
It's technically
The
not, no.
lowest, the lowest you
mean-
can possibly sell them for is this price.
Dick,
What-
I have to,
Worst
I have-
comes to worst, we can go ahead and trade we can go ahead and arm a bunch of random gorillas with cheap energy weapons.
Dex, I have two important questions.
Uh-huh.
One, how much space do we have on the ship? Two, how much are they willing to sell us?
That's what I'm looking for right now. I know that there was some formula for how much you can buy.
Let me go ahead and look. Raza.
I don't see any cargo that we've got other than the parts. Not that's got a tonnage value anyway.
Yeah, no, most of our cargo was freed up.
You know, I'm half
We didn't have any trade goods on us anymore.
I'm half tempted to say that it may actually be better to sell the parts and buy more parts somewhere else.
I'd probably say keep some on hand just in case something comes up that makes us need repairs. But
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, I suppose.
I guess I can take off this thing about the repairs to the metaspatial hypercharge cannon, huh?
Yeah, I mean, I think the way the parts work out, they're actually the same price as these base. So, don't know.
regardless,
Okay.
hold on. All right. So how many tons of spare parts do we actually have?
I think that's
36 and a bit.
okay.
Yeah, which means we've got like 360 tons of empty space.
I mean, I'm sure Dave's
we have
wreckage takes up
space.
a couple tons. How long is Dave's wreckage going to be there?
How much is what? How? I'm sorry. What was that? How much is what?
So we have the Dave wreckage. Remember? I don't know how many tons that is though.
Oh, Dave wreckage.
But it's at least 1 ton.
I doubt Dave is that large. Is Dave that large?
I mean, it was a heavy
It was a heavy
warbot,
warbot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Is he that large though?
I think that 1 ton is fair.
Okay.
It's a heavy warbot, you know.
Hmm.
right? Not a light warbot.
Not light.
So yeah. I mean, if they're not willing to sell us as much as 360 tons, then whether we get rid of other stuff is a moot point.
Yeah. We'll see if there's a formula, because if we can get 360 tons of it, we might as well get 360 tons of it.
Yeah.
There
Next.
is a formula, and I'm bringing up my system doc right now.
I'm a teeny bit disappointed there's a formula. We probably can't buy 360 tons of it.
Probably not now.
Yeah, so it's like, do we sell parts to make space? No, because we can't fill all the space we've already got.
Yeah.
It's irrelevant whether that would actually be a good idea ton for ton, because yeah.
We'll see. Let's see.
Well, yeah, maybe the formula says we can buy 500 tons. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I suspect it's not going to.
Well, again, we'll see. Let's be hopeful.
Yeah.
Let's
No,
be
I know.
optimistic.
I'm just sort of operating on the principle of, if there is a formula, the
Yeah.
likely answer is that it limits you in some way.
Yeah.
So we probably can't get a full cargo thing of any given good unless it's like super, super, super common. Which I guess, given we have like a -3 for that particular good, maybe it is.
Yeah.
Well, there's a formula, but it's not designed for my setting.
Right.
Okay.
It is a far trader can usually buy no more than 1 ton of any particular cargo each month for every 5,000 inhabitants of the world.
Right.
I've beefed up the connectivity and inhabitation of the sector. This is, that formula is assuming mostly frontier worlds.
Okay, so yeah, this is an urban world, so it's like, okay, there's a billion
More.
people here. We can buy
40,000 is what the formula came
Yeah.
up to.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah. Can we buy 400 tons? Yes, you can buy 40,000 tons.
I mean, if we had the space.
I'm gonna modify that a little bit because they are gearing up for war, and while they have they obviously have a surplus, they're not going to sell that much of the surplus to any one person. This is still military goods.
That's
But you've rolled incredibly well, and I'm certainly not taking that away from you. So let's do this with a base of 100 tons, plus, let's see just how well that tea ceremony goes. Because obviously, this is in tea ceremony territory.
Yeah.
If we're buying that much, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if we're buying
Definitely.
100 tons, that's 1 million base. So obviously, we're paying a fraction of that, but
So
that's a lot of money.
can I
Yeah.
can I provide an aid action to this?
you sure can.
Oh.
You sure can. Meowkin, how does Doug handle the restraints, strictures, and expectations of this culture in what would otherwise be a simple trade agreement and signed contract elsewhere?
I like to think he's taken to it as like a putting on a show.
Okay, all right. Um,
Well,
then Lulu, how is Virgilia assisting here?
So I think what Virgilia is doing is that is basically she's done some studying on this before, and she's like getting involved in the culture. So she's making like a polite conversation, steering the conversations in the direction they want to put the other party at ease, and like appreciate them as business partners, sort of thing.
Okay.
So it's a lot of talking.
All right, so yeah, this is probably going to be over the course of a couple of tea ceremonies then, with uh, impressing certain individuals of note in the military. Basically, kind of like how we talked about Lulu and Nox. You do end up speaking with a noble who is in the military and whose word on matters carries more weight than simply his or her rank. Does kind of fit with Wanderer too, yeah. Um, and so you've met with a few people who have some questions about the Roses of the operation. You've also met with some people who simply want to have a non-business, peaceful tea ceremony ritual. They just enjoy that part of it, and they don't really actually care about the trade part of it. But their word still carries a lot of weight for the administrator who will ultimately be signing off on the price. And so, Lulu, what skill were you planning to use there to assist? Just to be clear, Doug's going to be using perform, so you can't use that.
I was going to use talk, but
Okay.
I can also use connect if you'd prefer that.
Either one works. Connect does suggest a more connected, like connecting with them, whereas talk is basically saying what they want to hear.
Let's go with connect.
Okay.
It's a bit worse for me, but I think if we're building long-term connections here, then connect works.
Connect for connections. Imagine.
Yeah.
Before-
I
It's
also
almost like the skills are named for what they do.
Right?
diplomat does apply to this because it's a negotiation or diplomacy.
I'll allow it. Yeah.
Yeah. Give me a second. Do-
No, the diplomat does not apply to
Shame.
it.
Right, because it's not. There's no ones.
Yeah.
But it's 11.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead and roll with a +1.
All right. Was it still intelligence
Charisma.
or was it charisma? Oh, okay. Well, that +1 will offset my 0 charisma.
Okay.
Not bad.
And
Okay.
so you get the base 100 tons plus you can buy another 100 tons, so 200 tons total.
Which is going to cost us like what
200,000.
for 2 million worth of stuff that we can probably sell for like 4 million. Yep, we'll take it.
I figure out who we're gonna arm.
Yeah.
We've made shady arms deals before, haven't we?
Yes, you
We've
have.
been on
Be there.
we've been on both ends of some extremely shady arms deals before, yeah.
So let me see. Does anyone actually have 200,000 that's funding this, or do we need to pony up shares because we don't have that much in chip funds?
There's basically no chance I ever spend mine, so yeah, I'll cover it. I've got way more than that.
Oh, okay, you got the full. Okay.
I've got the full thing plus enough that I'm unlikely to burn through the remainder.
All right.
Okay, so the first half much of the profits goes to Das.
I'm sure we'll forget by that time.
Yeah, that's fine.
Make a note of it for us, Das.
That's fine. Like I say, I'm unlikely to manage to burn through the rest.
Go ahead and add that. I said 200 tons to the small arms energy, or is this the?
This is small arms, yeah.
Yeah, small arms. Okay, so 200 tons. Boop. And done.
Yeah. In fact, if you want to make it easy for future lookup, just copy the small arms energy military post tech 10K thing there.
Yep, that's
You
what I
did.
did.
Perfect.
I remember trading. We did a lot last cycle.
We did, yeah. Haven't done as much this cycle. Of
Well,
course.
you started off a
Yeah.
lot poorer.
Well, then last cycle you also had someone that was dedicated to trading.
Yeah. So it turned out to be a very shrewd merchant.
Imagine.
Yeah.
Personally, I could never foresee that happening.
I mean, we've. It's not like we've got bad setup for trade here.
No. You've got the numbers for it, for sure.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're right at 1 o'clock, so why don't we go ahead and take a 15-minute break? 13-minute break, come back at 15 after.
Sounds
Okay. So a 12-minute break.
Yes.
Hey, Dex.
Bring it back into frame. Alright, so it's been a couple days. I'm not gonna worry over who got and who didn't get shore leave because there's no real restrictions for your crew this time. It can be
Except for Kana and Kami.
right,
Okay,
except for
yeah, I
Kana and Kami and Elise.
And Elise. Yeah, I was gonna say I can think of 3 characters for whom there are definitely restrictions on shore leave.
Yeah. But the places have you've had like you wanted to maintain a certain security people, all that. You certainly still can, but there are no ground restrictions on how many crew you're allowed to have come down.
Yeah, fair.
I guess Doug's gonna apologize to Kana because we didn't get those pardons.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Is
apparently
Kana able to be found?
Still no.
Okay.
Well, I try to find Kana to apologize.
Leave a note in the dining room or something. You know what? Leave a note. Leave a note on the helm. Force of habit will make her come back there at some point. Just teleport. Whoops, that's the helm. Wasn't meant to come here. Whoop, away.
Pretty sure you just have her contact information. She
I
has
was
a
gonna
data
say she
pad.
has a compad.
Yeah, and
Yeah, but I gotta apologize in person.
Oh,
Push your
okay.
point, Paula.
Well, at least I try to. Eventually, yes, Doug will send a message saying sorry, didn't get a forgiveness, as they put it.
Yeah.
It was a long shot. It was the longest shot, even.
Well, if we blow up the station for them, they might do it.
Alright. And did you want to seek out Kami and find out what the deal is there? Save that for another day.
I am pretty curious.
Hmm.
How hard is Kami to find?
Kami is not nearly as hard to find.
Okay. Yeah, Doug will go looking for Kami.
Kami does report for her shift.
Oh, okay.
Well, that's nice.
Good
She.
Kami, I noticed you made yourself scarce when we got to UAS, so yeah, don't worry about us, but I assume that you got a history here you don't wanna, you know, go back on the planet.
She does look nervous at having the discussion, but kind of bows her head, says, yes. I was in the Marines and did not finish my service."
Well, you kind of should get our own gush right then.
Just casually revealing the other secrets.
Yeah, that's the
I,
thing.
you know, I didn't. It's only implied. It's fine.
I've not wanted to speak with Khan. I don't know how she feels about deserters.
Yeah, you should have a talk with her.
Is that in order, sir?
I mean, you don't got to, but I don't know, y'all might get along better than you think.
Maybe I will.
I mean, if you could find her, you might have to message her. She's real hard to find lately. Oh yeah, if you want us to buy you anything while we're on planet, though, we can certainly bring you back something.
That does perk her up. And she asks for a small selection of. She keeps it limited. You can tell that she is reserving what she asks for to just a certain type of called orchid blossom candy. But it's not. It's neither orchid blossom nor candy. It's more like little chocolate bonbons that have designs on them. More of a branding thing than, actual orchid.
Yeah, it's not really candy so much as just a candy shaped a certain way kind of deal.
Yeah, pretty much. And tea. Also orchid blossom branding on it.
Yeah, that actually gives me an idea. I'd like to buy a pretty significant bunch of tea here. I assume it's mostly green tea, but otherwise various types.
Oh yeah, definitely lots of types.
Yeah, I'm gonna get a good selection for Myokin.
Nice.
Okay.
I think that'd be something she'd like.
You know, Doug's gonna go overboard and just spend 100 credits on Shinobu knickknacks and stuff.
Okay.
Or just various stuff. Like
They
on
get-
Astos, I got 100 credits worth of.
They get themselves a fake samurai sword.
Yeah, some of it's probably not really worth anything.
Lulu, I
But
do think there's
I'll get the requested items and then just try a smattering of other things.
Lulu, I do think there's a non-zero chance that you run into Orion at the tea shop.
Oh boy.
Oh yeah, he liked tea, didn't he?
He did, yeah.
We must be low on tea because Connor was drinking coffee the other day.
God.
Having a breakdown. Lord.
Souvenirs, that's the word I'm looking for.
Yeah. You find the normal touristy stuff, the authentic replicas, and you can also get actual authentic stuff, but authentic crafts would of course be more than the 100 credits. You'd be spending more than that.
Oh, I mean, I wouldn't mind spending more of that, but I also don't think that Doug's the most conscientious shopper. Like, he's doing a nice gesture, but he doesn't really think about it too much.
Yeah.
So he probably get. I feel like Doug will be the type of person that gets taken in by touristy stuff.
yeah, that's fair enough. That's fair enough.
He can get the authentic stuff too with like the Wanderer, but it's like if
Yeah,
he's fine.
It's probably fine.
I feel like the touristy stuff across planets is probably distinct enough. Versus, I gotta sing, like here on Earth, you have touristy stuff. It's kind of the same everywhere around the world. But I feel like there's I mean, surely the touristy stuff across planets in a sector, pretty distinct still, right?
Yeah, you'd think that, but no, it's all basically the same stuff.
Okay, maybe I do spend some more credits.
No, it is fairly distinct, and the benefit on Shinobu is that because it was everything was made by a state-run business. A mom and pop shop is also state-run. There's lots of quality control. You're not going to get the Ren Fair kind of authentic, replicas that break apart the moment you hang them on the wall. They're higher quality touristy stuff.
In fairness, you have shown yourself to be vulnerable to touristy stuff on multiple occasions by now.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, that's
Love it.
that's accurate.
All right. Does Doug bring that back and present to Kana before you guys have left? Do you want that to be another kind of follow-on scene?
I'm down for that.
Yeah, I guess I just shoot a message to Kana, ask if Kana has any requests for purchases.
I may have said Kana. I meant Kami, but also yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
All the K names.
You're right.
That's racist. That's casist.
Yeah. So did Doug want to? Did you want to have a scene where he presents it or gives it to Kami?
I feel like I probably just leave it and not like just leave it like in her bunk, or just like as opposed to handing it to her directly.
Okay. That's fine. Is there anything else that anyone wants to do on Shinobu before we get back to resolving your conversation with Shiro?
Let's. Sorry, I just wanted to clarify. I'm going to spend let's say 50 credits on tea here, and then that'll be given to Kana.
Okay.
Various teas.
All right.
That's all. That's basically all I needed. Otherwise, I'm going to be soaking in the ambiance and helping with trade things.
Okay.
I think a certain amount of ambient soaking is okay. Uh, Percy is also going to test out whatever the local equivalent of a bar is.
A sake den.
Sake den, that's
Leave.
Yeah, yeah. They definitely have their alcohol, and
Yeah.
it's not watered down.
Yeah, imagine Percy just takes one drink and he's like, oh, that feels like 5.
Oh,
No,
that was the word. Izakaya. Yeah.
how strong
Like-
is sake?
I've smelled
It
it in real life, it's pretty
depends.
strong. I've smelled it in real
It-
life, it's pretty strong.
It really depends. Like some's very light. Some is very strong. If you're getting into like shochu and stuff, it's as strong as hard liquor.
Okay.
Mm.
All right. So
But
yeah.
that is technically not what we normally call sake.
Okay. All right. Then yeah, Percy can have a rollicking good time, or a what is this? What is this good time?
I imagine it's something along the line of the first drink of sake that he gets offered hits him like a punch, and he drinks it. He soldiers through it, and probably doesn't stay around for super long after that.
Okay. I may be being insensitive to say this, but they like karaoke here.
It is Japan.
Mm.
Yes.
Karaoke is still a thing. In places where you're allowed to be a little bit more individualistic, like here.
Behind
I mean, we do
closed
karaoke
doors.
on the ship too, so.
You guys do karaoke on the ship, yes. Do you guys go down as a karaoke team?
Percy messages Doug, and for the sake of narrative convenience, Kwana is taking shore leave right now. Percy also messages Kwana.
Okay.
Like, hey, I found a sake bar that does karaoke. No more context than that. No more. Just like tells him where it is. No more context than that. No invitation or anything. He knows they'll come.
Well,
Perfect.
Kawana finds her way there.
Yeah, sounds about right. Oh god.
You know what? I think V would also be curious there, so she'd show up as well.
Okay.
Okay.
I know Kwana went through some shit recently. Das probably mentioned talking to you. It's like Percy's not going to address that at all, but he will buy Kwana a drink.
All right.
Just to get it started. And yep, fuck it, if we're drinking together anyway. You know what? Kwana doesn't strike me as being like chugging down alcohol really fast. So I'll get another one and basically match her for pace.
Okay.
Which means probably slower than I would drink it.
Yeah, she's not too much of a drinker. She is more interested in the sweetest sugary drinks they have, which
Sure, we'll go with that.
aren't as alcoholic as the others. But she's even more distracted by the karaoke. And regardless of how anyone else acts, people there love her.
Good.
So, you can all enjoy, partake in the general revelry that Kawana's enthusiasm for all things stirs up, and her enthusiasm is still there even after her little existential moment.
Nice.
What did we call it? It wasn't a crisis. Existential.
Concern?
Yeah, you had.
I know.
There was a really good phrasing that somebody used earlier.
So I can't remember it.
Yeah,
I
fair
would
enough.
like to point out that in a very real sense, the entire sector is experiencing an existential crisis.
Yeah.
They just don't know it yet.
Yeah.
They are literally experiencing one.
So what you're saying is that the correct answer is to convince everyone that there's an existential crisis, and then go, but look at this cute blonde girl that works for us. She'll make you feel better.
There might be some problems with that.
You think? I can't think of anything. I mean, look how well it's working here. I foresee no problems with this plan, not one. But yeah, Percy is not getting into the karaoke right away because, too sober for this shit. But Revelry, sure.
Oh, V is going all in on the karaoke.
Oh heck yeah!
Congratulations, you're friends with Koana now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And Doug.
Oh, did you make one?
Hooray!
Of
I
course,
didn't
Doug
hear
made
you
it.
arrive.
You think he's gonna pass up a chance to?
To get more people on the band.
Yeah.
Look, one music leads to another.
All right. Well, sounds like a good time is had, and maybe you guys should have picked up some of the Zen MD for for hangover cures.
I'm sure it'll be fine.
Look, Riley's got something for us.
Do you want to take what Riley has for you?
I was just about to say that.
Oh, wait. Good point.
And this is
Just
all,
like-
of course, all interwoven with the trading and meetings.
I have an important question for you, Dex. Though I apologize for interrupting.
Go for it.
Does crew get drunk?
Crew does not get drunk.
Are you sure?
I'm sure. Yes.
Okay.
That would be kind of
Fine.
though, if entities got drunk, if their hosts got drunk.
That actually did come up in one of the one shots. They tried
Why am I
to
not-
truth serum somebody after letting him voluntarily get possessed.
Oh, I think I vaguely recall that. Yeah.
That's the one that we never really were quite sure if they were still possessed or not, wasn't it?
Yep.
Could still
And
be out there for all we know.
Well, no, they can't because it reset.
Yeah, but the same events could have happened. Who knows?
Yeah, it's possible.
it could be the
That's
same
true.
events that happened. I will say though that that one shot is what led to Union in that cycle going to explore Onalau, which led to you saying nope and black hole bombing them out of out of meta space.
Wait, black hole bombing them. Oh my
White
god,
hole.
Mega Man still
Or
exists?
white hole bombing. Sorry.
Whitehall.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why that fleet went to Onalau.
It tried to go down a while.
Tried to go to Onalau. Yes.
Obviously, we need to find a black hole bomb and then set off a black hole bomb and a white hole bomb in the same place.
Do you not have white hole bomb? Oh god, grey hole bomb.
It sounds like a great idea.
Let's give it a shot.
Yeah. Black hole plus white hole equals who knows?
think-
Let's find out.
I think that
Science.
I think it's like in much the same way that you hold down two different buttons on your phone to take a screenshot. I think setting off a black hole bomb and a white hole bomb in the same place resets the universe.
That's the shutdown command.
I'm pretty sure it just sends. I remember how this works. If you put two of them together, it sends you to the astral plane.
There we go. See?
Yes, yes.
Oh dear.
All right. Well, it's back down to business. Over the course of your shore leave, and your couple of days of trading, is there anything else you want to add to or get from these negotiations with Shiro?
Hmm.
So, I think
give
this
it
is
up.
mostly a question of when we bring up the whole Union fleet thing.
Yeah. It depends, I think, on how conducive he is to going along with the stuff that we presented about, like entities and it's a big threat. If he's not interested at all, then we can do words to the effect of, okay, like we have this detector thing. Here are the schematics. Run this, and in exchange we will tell you something that I think is very relevant to your interests about Union. uh,
I think
point.
we could probably make the argument of, all right, we have this information about a Union fleet. We want you to help us get into this system so we can access this X and Y in that system and just make it. I think if we want, we probably could push towards an agreement on that end, but we need to show our cards if we did that.
Okay. Yeah, I do. I wonder if we could convince him. Like, I wonder if we could convince him that attacking there is like an acceptable substitute for blowing up Henry Station.
It's possible. It would. It's probably awesome. It would probably also be notable to him if they are building multiple fleet or multiple capital-sized ships.
Yeah.
That would probably dramatically rewrite his plans because that implies that they are planning for serious military efforts.
Yeah. So I do think that we don't leave here without telling him that as a show of goodwill. But yeah, like.
So
Like
I
if
think
if we tell him about this, I feel like we could easily work that into, hey, like, we willing to attack that instead of Henry Station, but are we willing to attack that instead of Henry Station because that's still fucking with Union before we try and bring them to the negotiating table and go, hey, want to be friends? Like, we could play it
that's
off.
true.
We could play it off as, oh yeah, we're trying to like reduce your military capabilities. That's not the biggest problem right now. We didn't want you getting into war to distract you in the meantime. We could play it off as that. Not sure.
Question. Let me interject to the GM here, because I may be pushing you into a big decision in short time. Do you want me to fill the session with other content and let you think and talk about this over the course of the week?
No, because I think without hearing from the Dragon General, we're not going to have more context that will help us make a decision.
I'm willing to include some more discussion with Tajima. In that content, there is other information, other things, other scenes that can occur that aren't just filler scenes.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not, I'm not saying, hey, let me fill the episode with or the session with filler. It's
Right.
more of a, do you want to delay a finalized decision on this until after this session and a conversation over the week?
I think one more scene of the not filler that you were talking about might be nice to help us like flesh out our opinions a little bit more.
Okay. So I'm gonna.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Did you have something you wanted to say first?
I did just want to give some context for how we're making the decisions. It's worth noting that he is trying to get the Raza to do stuff for him rather than taking action directly. If we do tell him about the system, it's unlikely he'd make a direct attack. So we could probably still do still take actions without necessarily antagonizing Union directly, so long as we serve his ends as well towards doing that in the future. We just need to work out the deal properly. Anyway, go ahead and do the thing.
So, got an other space detector with you. And
That could be a conversation, yeah.
couple things that I want to have happen are, one, Lulu, why don't you have Virgilia make a Notice Wisdom skill check?
I can do that.
Two, who's hanging out with the other space detector, and are you playing with it? Are you, reading it?
Well, Doug definitely does a sweep of Virgilia and then Prue and roll at some point to test it.
Oh yeah.
Where we know there are other space entities.
Yeah.
And
What do Prune will make this actually?
I'm sorry, what was the question?
What do Prune will make of all this actually?
What do crew and who?
Prue and
crew,
Rule.
crew and rule.
Oh,
the other
crew
two.
and rule. Oh, the other two. Yes.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
ones that are in the chest
what do
room.
they make of this? What do they make of this?
Of the detector or
Yeah. The detector, the fact that we have such a thing, the fact that we're testing it on them, the fact that we might be. Do we mention? Yeah, we should mention to them that we might be introducing them to someone new soon.
okay. Didn't really care about the detector. It's a kind of a non-thing for them. It just doesn't affect them. In their opinions. But you can faintly see the blip of a infraworld connection with them, so you can test it. It works. That the signal is much stronger with crew. Crew is much more strongly connected to the infraworld. Um, and that's what the description and all the technical notes say is it's detecting an interaction between real space and the infraworld. It's looking for where physics breaks, more or less. With some other guiding criteria to rule out other things that might break physics as we know them. And why don't anyone else? I don't think that you get. It's a new toy, so I think you guys are. I suspect that your characters are probably blipping it on and off here and there, just as is this tree possessed by an entity? You know, silly stuff that people do.
An entity.
An entity.
Come on, everyone. Really? I had to make the joke.
You did.
Come
you
on.
did. So.
I mean, like, none of you did.
Why don't we
Guys.
just have a check from whoever has the best know and int skill check?
No int. I have +2 total.
Except for Virgilia, because Virgilia is not playing with the other space detector. She might be. She might be.
Oh, I'm sure it isn't me.
Yeah.
But I would rather somebody else because Virgilia already rolled a nose check.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
If Doug's at a +1 total, I think that means you've actually got no. So you should probably do
Yeah.
it. I don't.
I've got no
I have
zero.
+1. Yeah. Well, I have +1 overall, just purely on intelligence. So
Yeah.
you've got the skill. You do it.
It's my toy.
At least have
Wow.
one, though.
Yeah.
Elise isn't on the planet.
Fair.
She can't roll
yeah,
this.
well, okay, I thought the thing was still on the ship, and also she doesn't know.
You don't know
That's why I
shit.
roll
No, you brought it down the planet because you were showing it to Tajima, I believe.
I'm gonna use my expert reroll.
Go for it. Oh, that's much
There
better.
we go.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Expert coming in handy.
Yep.
Yeah. So you don't detect entities, so to speak. But both Virgilia and Doug are picking up signs of entity presence or infraworld interaction around. Comes with a little bit more information to pardon me one moment. A little bit more information, cultural information. You know, every culture has their own stories of ghosts and spirits, and those stories have a little bit more meaning to you guys, having actually witnessed the reality of ghosts and spirits and how they could.
Or at least some of it.
Some of it, and how those realities quite frequently parallel ghost stories. You know, ghosts making lights flicker, knocking things off of walls, or shaking the house, or really all things that crew can do. Well, he hasn't actually learned how to make the lights flicker, but they are things
But
that
I mean, he can. It just be
the
by
light switch.
yeah.
Which I do think is hilarious.
um, and there's just enough lingering infraworld incursion presence around here, or infraworld incursion, um, that it is picked up on both the infraworld detector or the other space detector, and by Virgilia, as entities have been through here.
Been through UIS.
Yeah, through this touristy area.
Okay. Would I know how recently?
It'd have to be pretty recently for them to get picked up.
Hmm. Well, it could be someone from Coast due to the specific nature of that. They do have people
Good, yeah.
bonded to them.
Mm-hmm.
Presumably, some of them go off planet for diplomatic things since they're kind of the ruling class there. Yeah, that'd be
And I,
my initial guess anyway.
and I also lost myself in my own kind of examples. There's also stories of speaking with the spirits and of wise people that live today that are able to speak with the spirits and know things from beyond, or talk to people from beyond, um, that match up with what you guys know now that you have an expert, entities can do. They would normally just be written off as psychic phenomena or um, shams. Funny enough, I think it was actually last cycle. Jai wrote it off as as shams and scams.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Very fun.
um, but it's something that if you wanted to, you could potentially book a trip out to one of these shaman, um, or wise people, and test your detector there.
Honestly, I think that might be a good idea, just especially if I go, just because it'd be something to check in on with context that we didn't have the last time.
Hmm.
If we've got time, I'd be down to do that.
You probably do have time, yeah.
Mhm.
As far as like the stuff that I'm dealing with here.
Okay. Then yeah, let's go. Who wants to go visit a shaman?
Um. You know what? Sure.
Yeah, Percy seems like the sort who'd like his fortune told.
You know what? Sure.
I mean, I can already tell you. I can already tell you what's going to happen to all of us. But yeah, let's go ahead and do it. Let's go.
Yeah. One moment, please.
Back in just a moment.
Okay. Yeah, this is gonna take me a moment too. I don't remember where the heck I put that info.
I'm back.
Okay, I'm back. Huh. When did you guys go to Shinobu last time, Lulu?
God, it was. I mean, it was around the time when we went to Kos. I know we went there and gave them something that got us like a minor government rank, but I don't really remember the
Yeah.
details.
I don't remember either. I know we were on good terms with them, but we weren't really involved with them.
Yeah.
I assume it, I want to say it was. I want to assume it was before we had the details of the infraworld entities because
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, if it was after Coast, well, I guess we didn't have details then, though, did we?
not
You had
really.
some information, but it basically it wasn't enough to draw your interest at the time.
Yeah.
I think last time it was Coast was our first real run-in, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
It was we didn't do anything with them until late.
Mm-hmm. Let's try this search. Nope. Trying to search words that I would have used because Zoe found out that she had like the farm there. Um and I had linked it in with that. But I'm not gonna waste more time searching for it. It's not difficult to book a quick outing from the touristy part of the city here. Me.
I'd like to note I'm specifically looking for one whose like description sounds the most plausible based on my own understanding of bonded.
Okay. Of course, certainly. Um, yeah. It is a little weird that I can't even find Jai on Shinobu in my notes.
We weren't here long.
You weren't, but like the only Shinobu that I can even search up in my document are all in the event register, stuff all happening outside of you guys.
Yeah.
It's like I know I had something there. I must not have used the word Shinobu, and I can't even think.
So a bit more context. We were here before Tajimashiro killed his parent, or his mom and brother.
Yeah.
I see.
We stopped here when his brother was still emperor.
And can I just say, I find it hilarious that here, like in this timeline, the previous emperor got killed, and Tajirashiro's brother is the emperor now, and he's like number 2. And in the last timeline, he killed his brother. We explained this to him, and he just went, "Yeah, it sounds like I'd do that."
Like it was always on the table. Like, yep.
Yep. All right, yeah. You sift through the strange reports and sightings, and it's kind of turned into an entertainment expectation of entertainment kind of thing. But it's, as I said, it's not difficult for you to plan and get the paperwork for a quick touristy trip outside of the touristy part of the city, and go and enjoy one of these spiritual retreats. That's a word I could look up. Spirit.
Or receipt.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I think receipt. Yeah, it works too.
Goodness, nope, nope. It may be some notes that I just decided not to keep for some reason.
Oh dear.
I have noticed that I've lost some of my stuff through poor management, basically. But that's okay. Um, you are taken to a you're driven to through a grab car, a would would just be another vacation spot. It's a nice mountain retreat. There's a spring, and you're far away from the city. Um, a couple of uh, huts, small houses. Um, they look like they're fitted with modern amenities, but are designed to look like they're old-fashioned and traditional. Um, you're greeted by a young man and a young woman in priestly-like robes. I think Onmyoji comes to mind as
Mm-hmm.
no, those are the detectives, aren't they?
No. Onmyoji would be the practitioners of the
On the Odo, right?
Japanese astrology
Ah,
magic.
okay, so I was close. And it's good enough for us here. Um, but that's kind of the cultural, the design and fashion style that you're looking at here is people that are. It's like you've been transported 2,000 years into the past, and are back on Earth.
Mhm.
Um, and they are trying to get you accommodated and set up. Uh, take your bags if you have any, if you brought anything. They try to treat you as if you are staying at a hotel here, and then they're going to uh, find out what you want to do for your entertainment. All in all, by your first experience here, impressions, it's looking a lot more like a tourist trap type deal.
Mm-hmm.
um, but if you play along with it, um, they'll get your stuff situated in our room. You don't have to stay long. It's just to drop things off and ask what kind of spiritual experience you were looking for. Well, the people that you're talking that greeted you won't, but a priestess will come around and ask what kind of spiritual experience you are seeking.
Mm,
Percy just sort of like basically takes a step back. Like this was your idea. You're in the lead for this one.
okay. I can't remember. Can I actually sense entities?
Um,
I do not remember at all.
Yeah, through crew you can.
All right.
It's
Okay.
a matter for debate whether it's crew sensing them or Virgilia sensing them, but you as a player will know that when they're entities.
Okay. In that case, uh, what were the actual offerings for this again?
Basically just
For
having a religious or spiritual experience in the presence of playful spirits.
I would like to visit the place where the spirits are most intense, so that we can meditate in their presence.
The priestess is also a woman, not so much of a young woman, but also a woman, and she uh, bows and, of course, uh, let us ritual meditate first, and then we will hike up into the hills. And
Okay.
she takes you to the what looks like the main shrine area here. I should describe this better. As you came around, as you got out of the grav cars, you came up a road, so to speak. Um, you were traveling through forested woods, a path that it was clearly cut for grav car to travel. Um,
Mhm.
and coming around a corner, you saw a standing gate, unwalled standing gate, through which you were expected to pass. You were not supposed to walk around the gate. You were asked to come through the gate if anybody tried. Um, and past that gate, there were a couple of cottage-like, hut-like cottages on either side of a path leading towards a central pond, with lily pads in the center, of course, and obviously there's koi fish in there. Um, and there's plenty of space between all of these features. None of it's crowded. And continuing straight from the gate, past the cottages and past the pond, is a shrine. It's a little bit bigger than the cottages themselves, but it's basically only has one wall, the back wall. Um, there's an open area, um, and that's where she's taking you now, um, to partake in some recreational drugs
Mhm.
that she says enhances the spiritual experience. Um,
I'm sure.
you're not required
Naturally.
to take them, but if you do, consider your spiritual experience to be enhanced. Um,
You get a +2 to spiritual experiences.
Uh.
um, Virgilia, of course, knows that none of this is actually required to see spirits. They either are there or not.
Yeah. I'm. Hmm. Yeah, Percy. Go ahead and do it.
I mean, this was your idea.
Yeah.
Why
Go,
am I getting
go,
volunteered? Okay.
yeah. Go ahead.
Okay. Percy has certain misgivings. About this
Virgilia is
plan.
not going to take any.
Okay.
Percy has certain misgivings about this plan, especially given that there are negotiations soon. But we have Riley. This will probably, hopefully, maybe be fine. If she steals any of my internal organs, I'm holding you accountable for this, Lulu.
No, you're not, because your internal organs will be gone.
You know,
I hear you don't need some
Hey.
of those.
you think she won't leave me in a state where I can function without internal organs as a defiance of God and the natural order? You haven't met Riley yet, have you?
No, I've not. The only other Riley I've met before was me.
Different Riley.
Yeah, this Riley that they've got on the ship is a fan of Jirao.
Of
Yeah.
course she is.
That tells you all you need to know.
Mm-hmm.
And came from Mercure Core. That tells you even more.
Great, you've got like the worst possible options there. None of that is good.
What do you mean? She's fine. We've got to look at it, super soldiers. I mean, yeah.
Right.
So what was that about recreational?
Last time we were making Razor Monkey super soldiers, so I'm sure
What?
this is going just as well.
Oh, that's a good idea, actually.
Yeah. So about the recreational drugs, it's just a weed or marijuana or some kind of,
Future-based alternative, yeah.
yeah,
Peyote. Sure.
Okay,
peyote, mild leaf type.
Okay, sure. I'll bite, or
Inhale.
metaphorically, I'll bite. Metaphorically, I'll bite.
Okay. Okay. Who else has gone on this, by the way?
I mean,
I know
obviously
Virgilia and
Virgilia.
Doug, because they've got the crew and the detector, right?
Yeah,
Oh,
that makes sense. I
Based
guess
on the
Doug doesn't.
description of the detector, you probably want Das there if you want to interpret things.
Okay.
Because based on the description of the detector, like anyone else has to make a roll. Das basically just can't fail that roll. Not even like statistically unlikely, like literally just cannot fail.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
That makes sense.
Oh yeah, it is a in program check. Had you guys
In
rolled
program,
the note earlier?
8.
Oops. Oh well.
In program at 8, and Das is rolling at +6.
Yeah.
So literally unfailable.
Nice.
All right. Well, is Das partaking?
If they're intending to read the detector, then probably yes.
I assume a couple
oh,
of
and the-
NPCs.
sorry,
are
and
also
the
partaking.
thing.
Yeah, no,
Partaking at the
I
I think this
Seems
would
like a bad
probably
idea.
I think this would probably be less up to Das and more up to whether anyone else lets her be close enough to it.
You know what? Yeah, you're
'Cause
kind of on the,
I suspect the answer is it's not up to Das.
yeah, like
I mean-
you're kind of on the job, aren't you?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. You what? Do as I say, not as I do. And Percy goes and fucking.
So is there anyone in here other than Das who is not?
Who is not
Virgilia.
going or not smoking?
Not smoking.
Virgilia.
Oh, Virgilia is not smoking.
Yeah.
Okay. Right.
So Das is not alone.
No, that's okay.
That's
Doug's not.
that's mostly
Okay.
what I was checking. Like, is Das the only one?
Doug's also
Is
not.
there-
Yeah.
Right, okay.
So really,
I was going to say, I assume a couple of NPCs are with us.
yeah,
but-
yeah, sure.
I
Yo-
don't know.
Alpha's probably into this.
I don't
That's
know.
before too
We're
long.
looking for entities.
Right, exactly. Alpha's probably along.
All right. She goes through some ceremonial ritual stuff. Basically, speaking to the spirits of the earth and the water and the stone. She is speaking to spirits as if they are here. Well, Virgilia can see, and the other space detector can tell that there are no blips immediately present. And after a while, she says words to the effect of "You are all purified." She is speaking in Sengoku first, and then translating into Spacer.
She's speaking in Son Goku?
She is.
Wild.
Then Goku, not Son Goku.
Yes. I was just gonna ignore it. Yeah, okay.
A lot of power-up noises in that language.
You're right. I should have ignored it too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, a diplomat. Sengoku seems like it's common enough language that I'd speak it fine.
Let me take a look. It should be listed in my foci. Oh no, it wouldn't be. It would be in my in one of my other documents. It's not important for the immediate moment because she is translating everything. She is translating it accurately. But now I'm curious.
I would say if a whole major planet speaks it, it probably counts as common.
So I actually listed out
Depends on the planet.
specifically what diplomat gives. And the only reason I'm hesitant on Sengoku is because I also made a point that they don't teach outside of Shinobu, and they don't teach Gaijin. So
We did all learn it last time, though.
you did, did.
That's the different sector now.
Yeah. Yep.
My most recent one. There we go. Oh no, that's got nothing in it. All right. You two. Languages. Go, sector known.
Could you also post that for me then? Because I don't know. I don't know what languages I've got then.
Oh yeah, I can do that. Might actually even be a handout. Stop it. There we go. Show 2 players. Now let me make sure that this is accurate. Does not appear that I've updated this with oh, I think it's follow with new information that I've changed. But that's the list of all languages. And the diplomat focus grants fluency with British English, Common Jin, Parisian, Russian, Shawu, and Spacer. Let's put it to that for now. I believe I may have changed this more recently. I'll just tentative.
So sorry. Korean, British English, Common Jin, Shawu, and Spacer.
I just
basically
put
everything.
No, Korean wasn't on there.
Oh.
But like I said, I may have changed it. Let me go back in my notes after the game.
Sorry. So it'd just be the English stuff and the Chinese stuff then.
Well, no, because it's also got the Parisian, that maybe where you heard Korean, Russian, and then yeah.
Yeah, so not that much then.
And I think I've changed that since because it wasn't very much, and I felt like it wasn't given enough oomph to that level of diplomat. Let me hold off on answering this for now, Lulu.
Okay.
I'll look at what changes I've made later. I don't want to keep dithering over it right now.
All right.
And like I said, it doesn't matter in this case because she has given you accurate translations.
All right.
This is all a performance as far as you can see.
Charming.
After the partaking of vision drugs, vision substances, she part of this ritual, by the way, I skipped over, was she also has you either change into spirit acceptable robes or put them on over your clothes.
Mm-hmm.
It is preferable that you
Sure.
change into them, but it is not required.
She has to do that before or after we partake of the ceremonial herbs.
After. She knows what she's doing.
You cut it there for a sec.
Oh, I said
After.
after.
After. Okay. Hmm. Percy has about as much experience with this as I do. I mean, none. And therefore, I'm going to say he's not reacting well to it, and he volunteers to keep his own clothes on because he may not actually state it, but he's worried his skin's going to fall off.
Yeah. I will say that this is it's very mild. It's not a very strong
Yeah, I know.
substance.
I know.
Okay, fair enough.
This is fun.
And once you've all worn, either put on or changed into the robes, she takes you out of the shrine and
Mhm.
along a walking trail only. Your grav cars, not even hover cycles, would make it through this trail, climbing higher up this hill or mountain, whatever you want to call it, um, through along a trail that barely has the brush cut back from it.
Okay.
A short journey away is another shrine, one that looks older and that Virgilia can feel the uh, the memories that have been made here.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot that she could mnemocognite, if that's accepted as a word. Um,
Okay.
it comes into view as a larger pond, eh, almost a lake, but not quite. Um, across which and into the center of which a set of stones appear to either be floating or stacked beneath the surface of the water and stacked and or supported on something. The water is pretty clear, and so those that look or just have a higher rate of observation, um, it just looks like stones have been stacked to create a walkable stone just above the surface of this very still small lake. These stepping stones walk out into the center of the large pond and onto a larger stone that also, it's getting farther away, but also appears to be stacked. And she starts making her way across the stepping stones. Um, the amount of memory, residual memory here, Lulu, is making this all seem like much less of a performance or a performance based on reality.
Okay. Is it common to find places with this intensive a history of memory, I guess?
Um, let's see. Let me answer that from Virgilia's experience first of all.
I've been stuck on Not Dream It, so.
Yes, but places where the humans have selected to be their places of worship uh, tend to accumulate stronger and more memories. Places where more people are buried and loved ones go to mourn them will accumulate those memories. Places that are given spiritual significance accumulate spiritual significance.
Okay.
And that also kind of gives credibility to a lot of the spiritual sites that Virgilia may have read about outside of Audrima, or well, not outside of, but specifically in human history. Haunted houses, places where a horrific murders occurred, will are just as likely to attract and hold on to a memory. Um, So the ghost stories that we know and all fully believe um, look like they've got some basis in the infraworld and however memories interact between real space and the infraworld.
Okay.
And that's what it looks like has happened here. Is there's been enough spiritual resonance, one might say, for this to be a place of uh, spirituality, um, and that can actually weaken the barrier between real space and the infraworld, uh, according to Crew. That's not something that Virgilia has experienced, but it's an impression that he has given her now. Um, this could be a place where entities could slip through,
Even without a condenser.
even without a
Would snap.
condenser. Yeah,
Okay.
it's not going to create a runaway effect, but yeah, ghosts
Right, so-
could slip through into the real world.
So places of extreme spiritual significance to humans create it. It's not the other way around. It's that the feelings humans attach to it create these portals.
Yeah,
Or these ways in. Interesting.
a
That's
lot
good
of
to
it
know.
has to do with the memories, the strength of memories, and the frequency of memories.
Okay.
So it doesn't necessarily have to be spiritual, but key into spiritual because the spirituality tends to heighten everything else. And so she leads you across the stepping stones to this place in the center, and sits down and invites everyone else to sit with her. And
From my archives from Brendan Sanderson. It's not exactly the same, but there's some similarities there.
um, and she begins another performance of what anyone else might see as some kind of ritual entertainment. And what Virgilia might now be thinking is if this is the same thing that's been repeated over and over and over again, it kind of codifies itself as a memory, and the more that you've got, more memories you've got holding on to a place, the weaker is the barrier between real space and the infraworld.
So is this why the QED stuff blocked out entities?
That's a different effect, but it's along the same lines.
Okay.
I think now that Crew has encountered Vacant, actually, I think Crew could give a little bit more impressionistic explanation to Virgilia. And it's similar to how I've described it when an entity has tried to possess somebody that's vacant, but there's just not enough memory for Crew to grasp onto.
Yeah, Prue and Will mentioned something similar, didn't they?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
As she is conducting this ritual, supernatural occurrences begin to occur.
Oh,
To those of you without a Crew or a other space detector, it just looks like rocks are rising up from the from the depths of this little lake and rising above the surface. It looks like someone is just telekinetically manipulating rocks to come up and float around.
Oh shit, those rocks are fucking alive. Fuck.
But there's no there's no infraverse entity like manipulating them.
Throw a grenade at him.
Do we, yeah, you know what, that's maybe an idea. Do we need to kill the rocks?
You
The-
don't
Random
have to
combat
kill them.
encounter found.
Magic rocks are specific with grades, right? Doug, you know more about this than I do. Magic rocks, grades?
What? What do you mean? I know more about this?
I don't know much about grades or magic rocks. You know about one of those things at least.
That's okay. I'm not actually gonna use a grenade or anything because I'm not. I'm not in the herbs.
So, the other space detector,
Best sort of powers.
it is picking up infraworld incursion. Let's see. Interaction between real space and the infraworld. There is something occurring here, something entity-based or other space-based occurring here. And it's like it's bubbling up from the surface. Or just tendrils that are lifting the rocks up. Virgilia, it comes across a little bit different. It comes across as the memory of these rocks being lifted up. This is something that Nemocognition could perhaps tell a fuller story about, but
Okay.
um,
No, go ahead and finish up.
yeah, I'll say real quick, and then we'll probably end with the if you want to do a Nemocognition. It's these. This isn't an entity, so to speak. It's a memory of an entity, or a memory of well, I'll just call it what it is. It is a nemokinetic entity. It is an entity. It is from the infraworld, and it will do its own thing. It is its own thing, but here in this place, the thing that it does is pick up rocks and make them float.
Interesting.
Hmm.
I'll go ahead and use Nemocognition then.
Okay.
Hmm.
That'll be yeah. So I'll commit effort for that.
Well, you are within touching distance of the object to which this whole sequence is connected. It is the rock in the center. Let me just read it real quick. What I had ended with this. So, experiencing the memory as if you're present when it was formed. What Virgilia experiences is the memory of a person who seems as connected to an actual entity as she is to Crew. Maybe not quite as much, because Crew's got that special genetic bonding going on. But clearly somebody who was bonded with an entity and is being entertained by the entity just lifting rocks from the water. And is entertaining guests. It's a kind of a conjoined memory of multiple formations where this wise person or spirit speaker performed for just themselves and for others in this spot often enough for there to be a residual memory has lingered here.
Okay, interesting. So where are they now then?
That is the question, isn't it?
Let's see. I think I can let you interrogate it a little bit. Go ahead and roll a wisdom or charisma notice skill check.
I can do that.
This isn't trying to coax a weak memory. This is trying to gain more detail from the memory that you're seeing here. Oh yeah, yeah. In the reflection of the very clear pond, or small lake, you can see the face of this wise woman. First, just a girl, and then teenager, goes through some years, and now you can see the face of an old woman entertaining what look like grandchildren. There isn't much given to time of this, but it's kind of based on the fashions of the kids. She might still be alive.
Interesting. Okay. I'm going to bring that up then. Is the maybe not you know what? No, I'm going to ask, would she be a priestess?
Yeah, well, we can call her priestess. I'm not terribly concerned about the exact word in a different language I don't speak.
I was shaman earlier.
I probably
Yeah,
did
I
use
have-
shaman.
yeah.
Yeah,
You did, yeah.
Miko, whatever you want to call her.
yeah.
Please don't usually get you high.
Is the priestess who I will ask the one before us. Is the priestess who I guess held service at this site still alive? And make it clear that I'm saying it in a way that makes it clear I know more than I should with regard to this.
Uh, I assume that you're waiting for her to finish with her ritual, kind of song chanting.
Yes.
Okay, yeah. And to be clear, you also heard the woman in your nemocognitive vision doing the exact same ritual.
Right.
This is something that basically the memory of this ritual that's being performed has been burned into this location.
That makes sense.
And yeah, after she's done, she sits down, and the rocks just kind of float at various levels above the surface of the pond. And as Virgilia looks over and asks her, they stay floating, they don't fall. You know, nobody's surprised here. She says, Liokju, you mean the priestess who taught me the ritual?
You know what? I'm going to try to remember the scene I saw. Was this woman in any of the memories there?
You know what? She could be one of those kids. There's yeah, the grandkids, or what looked like they could be grandkids from the comparative ages between, you know, the face you see in the pond's reflection. and what this person has seen directly. You know what? I'm being silly. I guess you're not seeing the memory necessarily from her. You're seeing the memory. You're seeing all this from the memory's perspective.
Yeah.
So you didn't even need to see the reflection. You saw her face in the memory. And you know what? The grandkids, they stopped coming around when they started getting towards their teens, and this woman is clearly past her teens. She is mid to late 30s already. But go ahead and roll me another wisdom notice check.
Okay, I can do that.
I would also accept charisma notice if you wanted to.
I would like to do that.
Okay. Yeah, that's another great
14.
roll. Yeah, if you age progressed one of those kids up, this is probably one of those kids.
Right.
Just stopped coming through during their teen years for various reasons.
Do I have a name from that memory?
Yeah. I don't have that name on me, but do you have a name?
That's perfectly fine.
Are you outside being a psychic?
Yeah, it's fine. Your grandmother, I believe, whatever her name is, Sama.
Whatever her name is, Sama. Jesus.
Do you know her?
You could say a part of me was here, and then I'll go ahead and recount one of the stronger memories from this place. The specifics of it.
Okay. Oh, that's... Me and my sister stopped coming after that.
You're back here now.
Well... My sister was always skeptical, and... I guess I let her convince me, but... After she died... I needed Grandma's wisdom. She taught me the peace and serenity of communing with the spirits here.
That makes sense. Is your grandmother still around then?
She is. She's very old.
I know it's a lot to ask, but may we have a chance to speak with her?
Who's asking?
I'm going to go ahead and I'll go ahead and have a crew pluck one of the rocks out and just float it over to me so I can take it. Someone who can speak with the spirits here as well.
Yeah, her eyes are bewildered at this difference in the ritual. She bows to Virgilia a couple of times. I will send word to her. If she is lucid, she surely will speak with you.
I'll return the bow.
And I think
And then float the rock back. Yeah.
I think that's where we should end the session.
Okay.
Nice.
You see what you could have had Jai doubt last cycle?
I did not have a ghost in him. Yeah, you know what? I stand by his reaction there. This is all bullshit.
It is pretty much bullshit. Having a knowledge of how it happens.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead and put up the review card.